Oh, it's an update on my least favorite mayoral candidate. Gabrielle Hansen, running in Tennessee. She's a fan of Nazis. She's a friend of Nazis. She's, at the very least, undeniably a business partner of actual Nazis. She invited, according to the actual Nazis, to come to her little her rally. And then she got embarrassed about the presence of actual Nazis who were near her at her rally. And then the Nazis, when she lied about being friends with them, the Nazis said, no. She asked us to come there. Here's an update from News Channel 5, and thank you to Wireless Mike for this one.
Informed, connected. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Tonight, new video shows how the increasingly bizarre campaign for mayor in Franklin is being viewed by some as a spiritual war. Good evening.
What?
I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. That's right. We have video from a tent revival in Franklin late last week that shows how Gabrielle Hansen appears to believe that God is on her side. Well, critics say that's a wake-up call about the dangers of those now trying to gain political control.
I said specifically I wasn't going to talk about this on this stream, and you're not wrong to have shared this video with me. I am always wrong, no matter what I say, because I am going to talk about this. This is one of my many pet peeves. False religiosity. Making a mockery of somebody else's sincere beliefs for, I don't know, a political game? I don't know. Don't do that. If you're out there considering pretending to be Jewish or Christian or Islamic or whatever, Sunni, Shiite, whatever, don't. There are few things in politics that are unforgivable. I think that is one of them. Don't cheapen somebody's entire life philosophy because you think you can use it, trick them, doing something that benefits you. That's low. Let's hear it. Let's hear what this cult leader has to say.
To force their faith on others.
News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams has been analyzing this new video. Phil?
Now, to be very, very clear, this is not to disparage anyone's religious beliefs so much as it is to understand, specifically to understand how a candidate like Gabrielle Hansen continues to press on despite a growing list of scandals, including her association with white supremacists. And it shows why some are worried about where this could all lead. This video posted on Facebook by evangelist Amy Elizabeth Taylor shows a charismatic tent revival in the heart of Franklin. The event, called Revival Glory, was held in the same city park as this year's Pride Festival. The poster declared, quote, "We are taking back the land by displacing demonic forces and ushering in his glory."
All right. I wanted to say that I don't believe these people are insincere, but then I saw what the organizers wrote. And if you think that a homosexual is demonic forces, I don't believe you're a sincere person. I don't believe, and I realize what I'm about to say is leveling a heavy accusation in certain communities. I want you to know this is not just something I'm saying in the moment because I'm angry now. I am angry now, but this is not why I'm saying it. I thought about this a lot. I don't believe they have sincere belief. I think they are lying about their belief. I think they are literally charlatans. Some of them who claim to be prophets, by the way, are literally false prophets. I believe they're false prophets in their own hearts. I question whether they even believe in God. But certainly, I do not believe that they believe what they are saying here. The organizers of this whole event, not just Gabrielle Hansen. I certainly think she's about to lie, and I think we're about to see her lying. But let me be crystal clear. I think the people that called the Pride event demonic forces are lying to you, to their followers, to everybody. Because that's just not a sincere reading of any religious sect that I'm aware of. Any religious teachings, let me say, that I'm aware of, including the strictest of Christianity. The homosexuals would not be demonic forces. You would at best be trying to save them, but by displacing demonic forces, they're looking to psych up their followers by making them feel like it was some huge victory to rent a tent. It's the same fundamental problem, although much more offensive in my personal worldview, as the last 90 times we've talked about Republicans, a criminal organization, Republicans. They're not having a serious conversation about these things. We haven't even gotten to Hansen yet. They're just not having a serious conversation. You should be concerned about that fact, about their apparent lack of sincerity, while they ask you to do some rather significant things.
The event included some of the same people who've tried to take over Franklin's historic town square every Saturday night by singing out Christian music and claiming that time and space as their own.
We have somebody here.
I withdraw my ugh. There's nothing wrong with with that snippet that I saw of somebody trying to hang out regularly at a spot. Withdrawn with my ugh. But oh look, they're openly, this is apparently after the Nazi incident, they're openly saying, yeah, this friend of the Nazis is a friend of ours. Are you a serious person watching this? How does that make you feel? Friend of the Nazis is apparently a friend of theirs. You know what that makes? Every single one of those people Nazis. If there's, what is the old saying? If there's 4 people sitting down at a table and a Nazi comes and sits down with them, nobody says anything. What you have at that table is 5 Nazis. Gabrielle Hansen should be receiving a constant flood of hate mail. Not threats, just expressions of distaste from the people in her town, demanding that she announce the end of her campaign. That's the only acceptable response to what she has done so far. Let's get to the weird stuff, though.
On this night, the guest of honor, controversial Franklin alderman and candidate for mayor Gabrielle Hansen, the elected official who led the charge to block the Pride Festival and defended the worship group against complaints about the disruption to the quiet of Franklin's downtown. Among Hansen's scandals, she lifted a social media image to falsely claim a group of women as her supporters and had white supremacists show up at a candidate's.
I'm already getting mad. Let's go back. We've been watching this gal the whole time. Do you remember that? Those gals in that picture. Not her friends. Not her friends. It's a picture she ripped from social media. There's a more detailed story. She was there, it seems like, at that event. Those are not people who support her in any way, shape, or form. Then she hung out with Nazis. If you're wondering, is that tattoo on his face related? Yep. Filth.
form and a show of force for her campaign. Yet here,
She is empowered to run for mayor.
All right. This is what we need to talk about. I understand, and I'll say this one more time. I understand this is a serious accusation, and I just want you to know whether I'm right or wrong, and I can't know that. Fair. I have thought about this. I do not believe the woman with the microphone, never mind Gabrielle Hansen, after the first scandal, we need not have covered her, except that she was a danger. When it got beyond silly when she had the Nazis show up and so. Now I've got nothing else that's necessary to say about her. After saying she's a friend of Nazis, proof was in that pudding you just saw. There's nothing else to say about it. Let's talk about the lady with the mic. I do not believe her religious belief is sincere. If you have sincere religious belief, then that is a hell of an accusation. That is a serious accusation out there. I acknowledge that, but I mean it. I think that lady pretends to believe and uses religious language because she believes she will gain things for doing that here on earth. Of course, I can't know if she actually believes in God, but I'd be willing to gamble a whole lot if I was willing to gamble anything on the idea that she does not believe Gabrielle Hansen has been empowered by God. I think she's making a mockery out of people's religion. I think we should be deeply disturbed that it works at all, and I think everybody in that congregation has an obligation. They want to hold their heads high. They have an obligation to kick her out. She has no business there. She's not sincerely pursuing a relationship with God. She is using God's name to blaspheme, truly to blaspheme. I'm not saying accidentally cursing by saying Lord this or damn that, which I do entirely too. I acknowledge. But that is a sincere mistake on my part. She is doing an intentional, premeditated, and full-throated blaspheme in an area that it seems to be designated as a place of worship. If temporary, nonetheless, it is a place of worship. The Bible literally writes about these people. This is a charlatan. She's trying to get you, people of Tennessee, listen to me, I beg you. She's trying to get you to vote for a Nazi, and she is using the name of the Lord God to do so. Don't put up with that. Take offense at that. You're allowed to be offended. Truly you are. I know people whine about cancel culture all the time. Ignore those people for a moment. You're allowed to be offended. That's why the word exists. This is the sort of thing is fine to be offended. When people say there's a war on Christmas, they're lying to you. There is no war on Christmas. I'm starting to think there is a war on Christianity. That's what it looks like. You got a bunch of golden cow worshippers amongst you.
She is empowered to be the mayor.
For those of you who are not religious, to say somebody is anointed is a hell of a thing to say in that group. Domenico, if you have any expertise, I don't know what denomination you are. I don't. We haven't talked very much about this stuff specifically, but chime in, please, and explain the seriousness of the phrases she's using right now. The gal with the microphone.
To be the mayor.
Hanson's problems are blamed on demonic forces.
And the enemy has been moving through people in our very community with deception, with lies. And that happens when we
Do you understand? Gabrielle Hanson lied. She deceived and she lied about the friends on social media. You know, that post she shared, she specifically lied and deceived. Then she invited a bunch of Nazis to come hang out with her. She deceived and she lied and she said she didn't invite them. And then they set the record straight. She said they asked us to come here. Or Hanson asked us to come here. Accuse others of that which you are guilty of, says the fascist playbook.
happens when we stand for truth.
Here they pray over Hanson and declare her to be God's chosen candidate for mayor.
Power and authority. Power and authority. Power and
They are praying performatively. Note the music's still going on. And okay, maybe this is a particular sect that is okay with. All right. But in the context of all the other lies we know she just told with supposed religious authority, and God is not wrong, incidentally, according to this religion. So if she is, guess what? She lied. So with with that in mind, here's Gabrielle Hanson with her hands up and her eyes closed, pretending to have a religious experience, playing on the emotions of people that genuinely believe they have had religious experiences. You can disagree with whether or not those were true. To those people, they were. And she's playing with their emotions. That can't be allowed to stand if you're a Christian. You have an obligation to find out the truth of this. If I'm lying and Gabrielle Hanson somehow was telling the truth about all these other things, you have an obligation to find out and shut me up with the truth. But otherwise, you have an obligation to make it crystal clear to her that your religion is not a plaything.
she will be a mayor on fire. A mayor on fire.
They insist her way is God's way,
You sing a song, we're going to sing over her right now. You are the center of attention. Because you carry the Holy Spirit.
and they pray
Did she say you're worthy of it all? Mike, I appreciate this. I really do. I might not be able to finish this without saying something I will regret. I am going to call on Christians, though. Tennessee Christians. If your belief is sincere, you have an obligation to address people whose belief is not sincere for their blaspheming. If your belief is sincere, then you also are a peaceful person. But you have an obligation to speak. You have an obligation to write in and to speak and to not let somebody get away with making a mockery out of someone's sincere religious belief. That is a level of disrespect which must be addressed. I'm a staunch atheist, in full disclosure. I'm a devout atheist. But I arrived there by walking next to a lot of people that wound up on different destinations, and I have some sense, obviously not a complete sense, but some sense of how sacred some of these things are, some of these concepts are. And if you are a sincere Christian, you cannot allow this to. You have an obligation to defend your religion, words and with kindness. You have an obligation to actually act on this. Just write her a letter. Write Gabrielle Hansen a letter. That's simple. Ask her to stop. Stop running for mayor. Stop mocking your religion. Politely but firmly say, ma'am, I don't believe you believe.